They didn't write a song saying one night in Manila. There's a reason, and we're going to get into the details next. Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia. One of my watering holes, the Laughing Tiger, which is on 33-1, right across the street from one of my other favorite places, O'Shea's. But I got my pint of Tiger, happy hour. We're right at the beginning of rainy season, so I may have to duck inside if it starts raining and gets real windy. I'm under a canopy, so I should be okay. But yeah, so it'll happen every afternoon, about 2 hours, early evening 2 hours. Then it's good for the rest of the time. So, all right, so let's do that comparison. Manila with the Philippines. They never wrote a song called One Night in Manila, and there's a reason for that. Bangkok's just different. Bangkok is completely different than anywhere in Manila, anywhere in Metro Manila. Let's not just talk about Manila specifically, we can talk about the entire metro area. I lived in Bonifacio Global City for almost 3 years. That's in Metro Manila. That's kind of a smart city inside the city of Taguig, but it's a bubble. It's very small, very westernized, very nice, but it had some problems too, and I'll get into that a little bit. But let's talk about the good things about Metro Manila, specifically BGC, which is where I lived. Like I said, it's very westernized, very convenient, very walkable. You can walk anywhere in under 20 minutes with ease. It's clean, it's relatively safe compared to the rest of Metro Manila. You've got a lot of great choices for food. You've got a lot of those franchise chain restaurants. I've talked about that before. Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, Denny's, Chili's, all of those, they're there if you want them. So that's the good side. The condos that rent there are a little bit pricey compared to the rest of the Philippines, but like I said, we're just talking about Metro Manila. Now you can get outside of BGC and rent cheaper condos. The problem I've had with the 3 years I lived in Manila was cockroaches. Even in these high-rise, quote-unquote, luxury condos in BGC, there was problems with cockroaches. So you've got to deal with that. Obviously, in rainy season there, it could rain all day long and there's flooding. The good thing about BGC is there is no flooding. It doesn't flood there. They've got great drainage system. I've talked about it before. They got a huge retention tank underneath Burgos Circle where all the rainwater drains into, and when it gets rises to a certain height or depth or whatever you want to call it, there's a release valve and releases it all into the ocean. So BGC is great, no flooding. The rest of Manila, it's problematic. Lots of flooding in Metro Manila. What else? Brownouts. I don't have a problem with brownouts in BGC. All the power grid is underground, but if you get outside of BGC, you can have brownout issues. In Manila, other cities in Metro Manila, you can have problems. It just kind of depends where you're at, what everything looks like as far as the infrastructure. Let's talk about the infrastructure. It's hard to get around outside of BGC. Like I said, BGC is walkable. No problem walking around BGC. But if you want to travel anywhere outside of BGC, you've got to rely on Grab, taxis, and that could be an issue, especially on a Friday afternoon or Friday evening or Saturday where everybody's taking Grab or taxi. It's very rare to find a taxi or get a Grab right away. I've had occasions where I've ordered a Grab online and waiting 10 minutes for it to show up and it cancels on me. And then I'll order another one and the same thing because they find a ride that's closer so they can get a cheaper fare and so they cancel you. That happens quite a bit. Or they say, I can't find you, and they ask you to cancel. Don't ever do that because then it's on you. If you're waiting for them, make them cancel because then it's on them. You don't want any red flags in Grab showing up on your account. Taxis are very it's very rare to find a taxi that's not taken up, especially in the rainy season and especially on weekends. You've got families all the time coming in and out of BGC that live in Metro Manila, and they'll take taxis because you can't get on a jeepney in BGC unless you're on the outskirts of BGC. Then you can, or buses even. They do have metro buses that run through BGC, but those are pretty local, and unless you know exactly where you're going, it might not be a good idea to hop on a bus. You might get lost. Let's talk about the good things about Manila. Dating's pretty good. You can easily find dates in Manila. When I moved there in the beginning of 2022, I had no problems finding dates. It was really, really easy. And if you're into age gap relationships, you hear that rain? I don't know if it's gonna bother us or not. But yeah, if you like the age gap relations, if you're an older expat and you want to date a younger Filipina, it's pretty easy to do that. And even in Metro Manila, it's pretty easy to do that. You're going to find the poverty levels are very high there. So young Filipinas are more than happy to date an older expat because they look at you as someone with money. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you're still rich in their eyes. And that's an opportunity for them to get out of that poverty and help their family. That's kind of what it's all about. And they may fall in love with you, but it may be a longer process to actually fall in love with you rather than fall in love with your situation, if you understand what I'm saying there. So if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. If you want love at first sight, it's probably not going to happen, although they will act like that. Filipinos are very clingy, and if you start dating one, they think you're their boyfriend right away. And they're already talking about moving in. They're already talking about being a steady one-on-one relationship because they want to get you. You're the prize. So, or as I've said in other videos, maybe you're not the prize, you're the target. But all in all, dating was pretty easy in the Philippines. So let's talk about the differences in Manila and Bangkok. So let's talk about Bangkok. The good thing about Bangkok is, one, the food is amazing. They've got great, obviously, Thai food. They've got great Asian food, great foreign food. You will not, the difference in BGC or Metro Manila, like Makati, you won't find the franchise chain restaurants, the Western chain restaurants here that you would in the Philippines, in Metro Manila. There won't be the Texas Roadhouses. There won't be the Chili's, the Denny's, things like that. What you will find, though, is locally owned Western style restaurants that have fantastic food at a reasonable price. So that's a good trade-off in my mind. I've never had a bad meal since I've been here in Bangkok. All the meals I've had, regardless of where I go, have been fantastic. You like Asian food? They've got great Asian food here. They've got a fantastic Chinatown. Getting to Chinatown in Manila is problematic. You've got to jump through a lot of hoops traffic-wise to get there. And then it's hectic when you get there, and it's not real clean. Here in Bangkok, it's fairly easy to get to. The transportation system is so much better here than in Manila. You've got the train systems, you got the BTS and the MRT. Granted, Manila has an MRT and an LRT line, but it's still not very convenient to where you want to go. Here in Bangkok, they've got numerous lines, more than two. They've got numerous lines that will get you pretty much close to anywhere you need to be in Bangkok, which is super convenient, super easy to navigate on the trains once you understand how it works, and fairly inexpensive. So there's a plus side there for living in Bangkok just because of the transportation. Now, traffic's bad in both cities. Traffic's bad in Manila. It's really bad. Traffic's bad in Bangkok. But if you got that opportunity to avoid getting on the streets and taking a grab or a taxi, you're on the plus side. You're in really good shape because you've got the metro trains. You got the BTS and the MRT that you can take, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, both cities have bike taxis, motorcycle taxis, and if you're brave enough, you can get on the back of a bike and get from point A to point B faster than any other mode of transportation, whether you're in Bangkok or Manila. But that's you're taking your life in your own hands in that respect. So I don't know if you want to do that or not. Might be, I've done it before. Trust me, it's nice if you're in a hurry and you want to get someplace fast. So that's a nice thing. What else? Let's talk about, Western food here is great. Like I said, they've got these locally owned restaurants where you can get steak dinners for, like I had a steak dinner the other day for less than $30, like $25 steak, baked potato, sour cream, and butter, and I think it had bacon bits too. So, but it was really nice. It was a good steak dinner, and that's on the cheap end, $25. But you can spend a lot more if you want. You can do the same in Manila. Metro Manila's got some really good steakhouses too, so you can spend a lot of money. But you can get some really good like pizza. They got great pizza here. I think the pizza here is better than anywhere in the Philippines. If you want to do fast food, they've got some fast food. They got McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. They've got all that. If you want to go that route, I'm not a big fan of fast food restaurants, but they got that here as well as in the Philippines. They don't have Jollibee here, like in the Philippines, so there's a plus. If you like Jollibee, then the Philippines, Metro Manila might be the place for you then, because they've got a lot of Jollibees there. None here that I'm aware of. Let's talk about dating. Manila gets the check mark for ease of dating there. It's a lot easier to date in Manila than it is here in Bangkok. I'm not saying it's impossible to date in Bangkok. It's not impossible. It's just a little harder. You need to establish a relationship with someone first, whereas in the Philippines, they pretty much, on that first date, they consider you their boyfriend, and they want you exclusively for them. In Bangkok, they want to make sure you're actually living here and not a holiday boyfriend. And so they'll take it a little slower. But like I said, it's not impossible. Age gap dating is there's not as big a gap here as there is in the Philippines, although I have been noticing a trend of older expats dating younger Thai women in their 20s. Maybe the expat are in their 50s or even early 60s, and they're dating in their 20s, these Thai women. I don't know if that's more transactional or not. My guess is most of them are, but some of them look like they're actually enjoying each other's company. So there may be something to that, and it may be trending in the right direction if you're the kind of guy that wants to date a younger Asian woman. Maybe Thailand is trending in the right direction for you. What else? The infrastructure. Infrastructure here is so much better than in Manila. Aside from the trains and the BTS and the MRT, the streets are better. Most of the areas have nice sidewalks, whereas in Manila they don't. They have either really narrow sidewalks or no sidewalks at all, so you're ending up walking on the street a lot of the times. Yeah, that happens here in Bangkok too, but not nearly to that extent. You've got neighborhoods that have large, wide sidewalks where there's plenty of room to walk around. So Bangkok gets the check mark on the infrastructure. Let's talk about condos here. Condo prices are probably similar in price for rentals here as they are in Manila. The farther out of central Bangkok you get, the cheaper you can find condos and apartments, just like in Metro Manila. If you get outside the BGC and Makati area, you can find decent prices on condos or apartments in all of Metro Manila. The only issue that I've seen, my personal experience and from people I've talked to, is the cockroach issue. Every condo I've lived in, luxury condos in BGC, apartments in Mandaluyong, whatever, has had cockroach issues. And not just minor, major. I've had to have them spray weekly to keep the cockroaches at bay. So that's a big issue. Here in Bangkok, I've lived in 2 condos. I've lived in several Airbnbs, but I've lived in 2 condos in the year and a half I've been here. 1 year down in Samut Prakan at a high-rise condo, and then since last November, I've lived on Prompong, Sukhumvit 24, where I live now. I've not seen 1 cockroach in any of the places I've lived in or stayed in as an Airbnb or whatever in the 3+ years I've been visiting Thailand and Bangkok. So I think it's just better care and better maintenance of the condos here in the Bangkok metro area compared to that in Manila. I think they just take better care of the buildings. I guess that might be the issue. That might be the case. I don't know for sure why that is, but I know it is. It's a fact that I've never seen a cockroach here. I see them all the time when I was in BGC and Metro Manila. What else, guys? Healthcare, if you're living in BGC or Makati, you've got St. Luke's. That's a great hospital there. But if you're outside of there, it's kind of touch and go. You may or may not get good healthcare outside in Metro Manila. Here in Bangkok, they've got private and public hospitals all over the metro area, and they're all really good and very affordable. Now, healthcare in the Philippines is quite affordable too, but I think probably it's a little more affordable here. I know a lot of expats that come here from the Philippines to take care of different health issues because they know it's going to be better here and cheaper here. So I know that for a fact. I've been told that. I haven't had a lot of experience in the healthcare field here in Bangkok. I did in Hua Hin, and they took pretty good care of me. But here in Bangkok, I haven't had any experience. But from everything I've heard and read, the healthcare is pretty much really, really good here and very inexpensive. Cost of living, I kind of touched on the condo pricing. It's about equivalent, but really I think you get more bang for the buck here. The build outs are better in the condo units here. You don't have those, first of all, you don't have those ugly white tile floors like you do pretty much everywhere in the Philippines, everywhere in Manila. They've got that basic white tile floors, and that seems to be like the cheapest tile, and everybody uses it when they build their condo units. Here, I've got wood floors here. I had wood floors at my other place, and they're really nice. Now, I will say I had wood floors at the 2 condos I lived in BGC, and that was nice. But for the most part, you look at these luxury condos all over Manila, and you've got that white tile. And then the paint, I've heard from a lot of sources that they get their paint from China to the Philippines cheap, and it's like the colors that China doesn't want. So you got these ugly lime green or ugly blue walls on your condo unit or your apartments in Manila, because that's that cheap Chinese paint that they send over to the Philippines because China doesn't want it. Here, it's like the colors in my condo where I'm at now, great color schemes and really nice. I mean, they're blue walls, but they're not that ugly, bright, yucky blue color like you get in Manila. So I think the furniture, the furnishings in my condo and the last 2 condos I was at are much better quality than the ones I lived in Metro Manila in BGC. The couches in BGC were basically, they looked like patio furniture. The first place I lived at was wicker furniture with a cushion. The other place was like a wooden, almost looked like a bench, a wooden bench with a thin pad on it. So we had to go buy, my girlfriend and I had to go buy cushions to put on the back so we had something to lean on besides boards. So the quality of the furnishings here in Bangkok are much better than in the Philippines, in Manila. The friendliness of people, I think that's pretty much a draw. It's pretty much a wash. I love the friendliness of Thai people. They're super friendly here. But at the same time, the Philippine people are super friendly as well. I don't think there's one over the other, really. I think you can find just as many really good Filipinos as you can really good Thai people here in Bangkok. So I don't think there's a difference between the two. Here, it's a Buddhist culture, and I really do like the Buddhist culture. It's very calm. They don't like to cause a lot of trouble. Now, in the Philippines, in Manila, they don't like to cause a lot of trouble either. So if you get an argument with a Filipino, they kind of shut down. It's almost like, oh, I'll just pretend I don't understand English, and this mad expat will go away. I get it. Here in Bangkok, they frown at bad behavior, but they're very tolerant of it unless it goes overboard. And watch out if it gets to that point where it's gone overboard. And I'm going to do a video on foreigners or expats acting badly here in Thailand. That's coming up a little later. But yeah, if you hit that boiling point, they're merciless, and they'll, especially if you take it out on a female, a Thai woman, or even a Thai lady boy. If they see you treating them poorly, they're going to be on you like that. And not just one, you're going to be surrounded by Thai men, and it's not going to end well for you. So FAFO, in other words. But I would advise not finding out and not effing around. So I would say it's a wash between the two as far as friendliness and kindness. They're both very kind. They're both very friendly. I would just say, just don't disrespect either of their cultures. You're a visitor. You're a guest in their country. Whether you're on a retirement visa or not, you're still a guest. You're not a citizen. So just treat it like that. And you wouldn't go to a friend's house and treat them poorly. Hopefully you wouldn't do that. So just think of it that way. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. I know I'll get a lot of trolls saying I'm full of it, but that's okay. This is my observations. This is what I've observed in the years I've lived in the Philippines and the years I've visited there. Since 2015, I've been visiting the Philippines and been visiting here since 2023, and I've lived here now for over a year and a half. So I kind of get what's going on with both cultures. I respect both cultures, and let me know in the comments what you think. Which would you prefer? Both places are great. I love the Philippines. I wouldn't have lived there for almost 3 years if I didn't like it. But I was ready to move on to another place, and Bangkok was the place for me. So who knows what the future holds, but make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And as always, live life, my friend. Sabay sabay, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.